Welcome back to Water Player Concussion Sub Series, Edgbaston Test number 2 of the 5 Test series. Nobody would have thought that India will be in such strong positions ending day 4. England need 538 odd runs, chasing 608 after Shubman Gill all over centuries. And then India needs 7 wickets. I did not think that India will get 3 wickets tonight, but wow, what a position. We have Adi and then Shivam from Delhi after a long time. Let's start with Shivam. आपका क्या ख्याल है Bumrah resting? Will India be in this strong position on day 4? Did you ever think about it, Shivam?
No, seriously not. And I'm scared that the way Gambhir showed us that it's time to move on from Kohli and Ashwin and Rohit. That day might not be far where he makes us move on from Bumrah as well. It'll not be so easy, but at least he'll prove that okay, Bumrah is not irreplaceable or whatever. We can do without him. But great to see. I mean, great to see the fight back that India is showing with the bat. I mean, I think in the last 7, 8 months or 12 months, we have played like absolute shit in the test format, and it was a batting to be blamed, right? But great to see we are performing so well. I mean, yes, there has been chatter around that pitches are flat, there is no Broad, there is no Anderson, but ठीक है, मतलब, there were many instances in the last few years when such flat pitches were there, but our top order was not performing. So credit to Rahul, Gill, uh, Pant, um
Jaiswal.
Jaiswal. They're performing really well. In fact, Karun Nair also. I think he spent decent amount of time on the pitch. Just that he's getting starts and he's getting out. So good to see that at least our batting is sorted. And before we go on, before we start and proceed, I'll just clear the air and say that I think Gambhir's move is has been vindicated in terms of moving on from Roko from Test. I think 3 innings in England, irrespective whether there's no Anderson, there's Broad, I don't care. But 3 innings in England with this batting performance, I think it is safe to say we have moved on. I think Kohli would be, slightly perplexed that, if I don't know, I mean, I don't want to comment on that, but if somehow things were handled in a better way, or if he was slightly better in last few years, if he was there in this tournament, in this series, I think it would have been easily 500, 600 series for him with these pitches, with this bowling performance. But having said that, look at Gill. He scored 350 runs, which no Indian has ever done in a test match. So credit to where it's due, and hopefully we wrap this up quickly tomorrow.
And one more stat of Gill. He's the only second batter to have the highest aggregate number of runs in a test match. So that's another record. Adi, you had clear day 4 expectations. I think India exceeded. So what are your thoughts?
Yes, so I think I was saying 500, ideally 550. So they went to 600, which is really good. The only thing, if I have to nitpick, is I don't know what's wrong with Jadeja. Every other
Yeah.
batsman was scoring runs very quickly. Like Pant was taking the risks. Even Nitish got out quickly. Gill was accelerating. Jadeja's innings was inexplicable. I don't know, like, is it okay? Not to be put my conspiracy theory hat on, but think this. I think after Gill was made captain, Jadeja went on a podcast with Ashwin and said, "Test match में captaincy क्या है? 2-3 fielder को इधर उधर करना है." And even Ashwin was also like kind of like, "Oh, Jadeja is a senior player, 80 tests. Why wasn't he even considered as an option for the Test captaincy?" Right? Like I think all the talk was all the talk was Gill, Pant, or Bumrah, right? So for the captaincy slot. So I don't know. Maybe Jadeja got slighted. He felt like not seen or not as important. In the last test, my biggest disappointment in the first test was Jadeja's bowling in the 5th innings. First 10 overs, I think he gave 50 runs on day 5, which is unacceptable. He was bowling bad lines. He was not targeting the rough which was there for Duckett. All the commentators were also perplexed. Fine, he's batting well. He batted well in the first innings. Here it felt like he was playing for his 50. He was like, I didn't want to take a chance. I want to score my 50. And probably it cost us 5 to 7 overs. I'm not saying like it cost us the match. Like, yeah, to Vishak's point, exactly. We declared around 8 overs late. And if you see the batting lineup, if Jadeja was scoring close to 100 strike rate, we could have got those 7, 8 overs back for the same amount of runs. And I agree with the 600, like 550, 500. Why should you take a risk? Why are you giving England a chance or a glimmer of hope that they could chase it? And you saw how flat the pitch can get, right? Like I think yesterday itself, in the chat as well, people were losing their minds that 300-run partnership at 6+ runs per over. You never know. Again, it might repeat. So kind of have to be on the safe side. 600 is good. It's fine. I think when we declared, I put in the chat that ideally we should get 3 wickets. We've got them. Tomorrow, again, the ball is still relatively new. Get 2 more wickets. And then with the second new ball, come in and wrap the match, right? Like I'm not having like expectations that get England all out for 200. I'm sure they'll hit like 350, 400 or something, but things are on track. It's all good. After England, no, like to Purval's point, the pitch is too flat, right? You've never seen so many runs scored by India in a test match. India's played in much flatter decks against much worse teams in India also, but we've never scored 1,000 runs. We've never scored runs at like 5+ runs, run rate per over when you're scoring like 400+. So they played it fine. Now it's the bowler's job to get like the 7 wickets.
And
Yes,
my problem is not the 600. My problem was Jadeja's innings.
Yeah, 100%.
You scored
Jadeja's
700,
innings is
that's
like,
fine.
yeah.
But the way he was scoring, and it's a pattern with Jadeja. I've seen him bat like this in similar situations in the past.
Yeah, let's see. Fingers
And-
crossed. Hopefully, it doesn't cost us. It's not like England is 9 down and 8 down, and we don't have like the 5-7 overs we lost. So,
And
fingers
we have
crossed. And I
the
think we can
biggest-
move to Sanjay. Hello, Sanjay.
Yeah, exactly. We have the biggest Jadeja fan follower on the planet. We have the brightest coach ALGG title. Welcome Dubey. आपका क्या ख्याल है? आपने prediction किया था series
5-0.
5-0 exactly. याद है आपको? So now we are looking at 1 each, bro.
Well, unless something really dramatic happens. अगर ये मैच भी नहीं जीते तो Jadeja's innings will be
बारिश तो नहीं होगी ना सर कल?
बारिश
कल
हो
है
सकती
prediction
है,
है थोड़ा बारिश का.
but because it's last
4-0.
day and because it's summer here, so I think they'll end up covering all the overs because you don't lose overs if I'm not wrong on the last day. You just try and make up time. So unbelievably good match from batting perspective so far. 400 इन लोगों ने बनाया भी, but that's primarily because we leaked too many runs. हम लोग ने एक दिन के अंदर फिर भी उनको all out कर दिया था. So if anything, the bowling attacks looking much better without Bumrah. So I don't know. I mean, it's almost too good to be true कि इतना खराब England batting कर रहा और अपना batting तो hats off to Shubman Gill. Whatever he's doing, whatever he's done, flat pitch, yes. कोहली भी होता तो शायद इतने रन बना देता. लेकिन it's no joke. 420 रन इस मैच में बनाए और पिछले मैच में भी 150 कुछ रन बनाया. So unbelievably good. If he takes care of his batting, I think captaincy he'll learn. We can't expect too much कि अचानक कुछ बहुत ही smart field setup कर देगा, ये कर देगा. His ballers have to back him up. He is reliant on a lot of the bowlers doing well. So very good position for India. Barring a miracle, I think this should be an Indian win.
It will be a famous win. And I think Adi runs behind Gill's back is automatically giving that propeller for Shubman Gill as captain. But we have to spend time talking about Akashdeep, which we did not do yesterday much. 4 wickets in the first innings. Today, a beauty to Joe Root. And he's got that in-cutter. I think he's been the difference. I know Siraj's great, but he's been the difference for bowling this test match, Adi.
Yes, definitely. Because I think there was a stat which said best new ball bowling average since 2024. Akashdeep is number 3 in the world with average of 13. And Rabada and Hazelwood are just above him, right? So that's how good he's been with the new ball. I think he is our replacement for kind of like Shami, right? With the new ball, you have the shape, you hit the deck, and then the ball slightly moves, and that's enough for the batsman to kind of like make that mistake. And he also used the angles of the wicket very well, right? Like with Root, he was bowling straight, then he went wide of the wicket, and that angle Root missed, right? And I sent you the stats, Suman, on our chat as well, like how good Akashdeep has been. And it's really good to see him stepping in. And he was supposed to play the first test. Not many people realize this. He was injured, and Harshit Rana was called as covered. So probably Prasidh might not have played the first test if Akash was fully fit. And I think Akash was with LSG and he wasn't really fit for the IPL. I don't even remember. Maybe he played a one or two matches, very few matches, but he didn't. He was recovering from injuries. So very glad to see him back. And now, if Prasid takes more wickets, it'll be a very good problem to have when Bumrah comes back. Like, whom do you drop? You have to drop Prasid, but at least, right? Like, if Prasid takes 4 5 wickets tomorrow, it'll be like a good thing to see, and it
Jadeja को
showcases our bench strength.
Jadeja को I'll drop immediately. Retrospectively भी drop कर दो यार. Bowling is
Just the batting.
completely useless, man.
He can play as a batsman. He doesn't need to bowl.
That's what. To be fair, overseas batting उसका काफी अच्छा है. तो he's doing what you expect from. So number 6 is fine. Play him as a batter, but get a proper spinner in. Because on this wicket, I personally think Washington Sundar चलो कल wicket ले भी ले, but एक wrist spinner would have been very handy.
Correct. Kuldeep would have been handy. I think they were just scarred by the two collapses. We were talking about that yesterday. Like, ideally, you would want Kuldeep, but two collapses. Washington did the job and was the difference between like 470 to 570 yesterday, right? Like in the first innings. So hopefully, Purval, like Indian spinners, play a crucial role. Fingers crossed. Day 5 pitch. If you're not going to get wickets there, then it's going to be tough.
Yeah,
Hey.
and I think yes, we were really disappointed जो end में लोग ने slow declaration वगैरह किया. That will be forgotten very quickly if we win. But if we for some reason एक दो wicket यहाँ वहाँ बच जाता है, those extra 100 runs to us will be very problematic because next
वो जो
week
तलवार चलाता है ना यूं वही अंदर अगर कल ऐसा हुआ तो
Excellent. And we have Pranav for the very first time. Welcome, Pranav. Thanks for hopping on. We were doing the day 4 review. So, what are your thoughts? Are you pleasantly surprised, happy, or expected with India's position on day 4?
I think if you ask me, they sent Jadeja on purpose to frustrate India because they wanted to bat time, and that makes sense too, right? What 371 last test without even putting out a sweat, and they do have the record of chasing what 550 odd first innings New Zealand total in Edgbaston. So uh, it is that played in their mind. So I was thinking of 475, but Aditya convinced me to 500, and then they put out 608. So it's not about the runs because I just put it out on Twitter a little while back. If India come to this position somehow and throughout the series, this will be their approach because they won't fuzz out from batting time than batting runs because the wicket is still true. You will get runs because England lost 3 wickets, but they are still 80 odd, right? So the runs will still keep coming. It's about the time that India were bothered about, and they were right in batting those extra 40 minutes because one, the target is inachievable. Two, it makes it very interesting because 596 or what 536 in 90 overs is about 6 runs an over. Still possible with some rain around, but I'm seated with the popcorn in front.
Excellent. And Pranav, there's a popular question in our group that are you related to Karun Nair? So, you have to answer that.
No, I'm not. Unfortunately, not. He's from Karnataka, although he's a Mallu. But I'd love to be. But if you call me that way, I wouldn't be disappointed either. So
Excellent. Excellent. So, Shivam, Rishabh Pant, I mean, what a maverick, man. Outstanding batting. I think he's put extra 75 runs on the board for us with his approach. So, Any thoughts on him becoming vice captain? Everybody was apprehensive, but what do you make of his two test match batting performance and also his leadership skills?
See, if making him captain will sort of, ease him out in the batting, I think make him the captain. Right? Those 75 runs were filled with at least 75 heart attacks. मतलब नीचे लेटना भी है, गिरना भी है, रोल भी करना है, मतलब why do you need to do all that? I mean, I understand that's how he plays, right? But that's how Jamie Smith also plays, right? Jamie Smith actually, I mean, just screwed us. Look at his 170 ka innings. I was watching the highlights today morning. I don't think he was hoiking the ball like that. Pant with all those antics of falling down, lying down, that theek hai, you score well, but why do you want to do all that? Pranav, I think you're saying something.
Yeah, I mean, look, James Smith or Harry Brook का innings is just once. Harry Brook will score runs this series. वो तो होगा ही. But with the soft ball, anybody and everybody will score runs except Nitish Kumar Reddy because he's having a bad test. But
No,
but
my point is, okay, fine. Pant, okay, let forget Jamie Smith's innings. My point is, the Pant knows that the way he's playing, 7 out of 10 times it will, come off and it will work for us. But the three times
yeah,
when it doesn't come off, right, we will collapse. That is the problem, right? We don't have that middle to lower batting order which would support such innings. So, but anyways, I think he's doing a great job. He has to improve his review skills. I think both the reviews were wasted. It looked completely not out to the naked eye. But I want to talk about Gill. I mean, I'm not really sure. Is it just the captaincy responsibility or what has happened? Few months back, right? I mean, I wasn't even calling him a regular in the Test 11, right? People were calling for, I don't know, Ishwaran and other folks. Gill was not your first choice top 11. He was averaging less than 13 Sena countries and less than 40 in overall Test career before this series. So what has happened to him? Just the captaincy? I mean, or maybe the freedom of no Roko there, and he's now sort of the leading batsman of the team, which is helping this side come out. This is crazy batting from Shubman Gill.
पिच बहुत फ्लैट मिल गया है मेन वो है सबसे बड़ा
नहीं 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 it's
सर
it's
फ्लैट
it's
पिचेस
very
तो ऑस्ट्रेलिया में भी था जब कोहली गया था, चलो तब जॉनसन वगैरह था, इंडिया में भी चलो स्पिनिंग ट्रैक्स था, श्रीलंका भी गए ये लोग, वेस्ट इंडीज भी गए, बट वहां पे भी इतने रन तो नहीं मारे सर कभी.
no I think
it's delaying his entry point basically.
no,
So by pushing down to number four, you're not facing the new ball anymore, right? वो अलग dynamics हो जाता है completely because look at Karuna's entry point yesterday. वो 64 for one पे आया. Look at look at others. For instance, if you look at Gill's entry point in most parts of the BGT, it's early, right? 10 overs, 12 overs, barring वो तो पर्थ में खेला भी नहीं तो it's another story altogether, right? So that is where and to address the earlier point where Pant fails 3 out of 10 times that he plays, it is sort of a new batting order's problem, right? That's why we want to play that extra all-rounder. कि भाई अगर collapse हो गए तो कौन रन बना के देगा? That's why we're playing Washington Sundar over Kuldeep Yadav. Because Pant plays like that, because we don't have a trusted lower middle order, because we have collapsed twice in Leeds. It's all of that because you don't want Pant to change the way he plays. You don't want to play attacking spinners because your tail can't bat. And your top order can't give you those consistent amount of runs that you want them to give you, right? So KL is not able to convert starts. He's been getting for like 3 innings in a row now. You know, again, Karun Nair is not able to convert starts. I won't fault him because he batted at six and then now at three. Um, Gill is able to convert starts. Pant is not able to bat bigger. Like he's able to attack, but he's not able to bat bigger. So I can't fault Gautam Gambhir in looking for an extra batter because कहाँ से runs आएंगे अगर आप मर्जी से खेलोगे तो runs कहाँ से आएंगे because your lower middle order is sort of fragile, right? Because you're not getting very consistent runs from people who you want to get consistent runs from. So this tour holds a lot of place on getting consistency throughout the team. Yes, conditions will determine who will play, but अगर आप consistency देखोगे, so I'd still feel that this batting lineup can continue for two more tests. Of course, Nitish Kumar Reddy, Washington Sundar question आएगा, but pretty happy with the way the starts have come. Karun Nair को you might tell him, bro, look, Lords might be a large last chance. Convert कर दो वरना टाटा बाय बाय.
And then
Um,
don't ask कि cricket give me another chance. That is the final chance, please.
yeah, I mean, fair enough because that is the problem, right? Our batting order is not giving us consistent runs the way we want it to give us. We are amazed at Shubman Gill because he's now dropped to four. तो जब वो फोर पे जाएगा तो थ्री पे कौन खेलेगा? So that is the thing. So you want consistent runs so that Pant plays his natural game, irrespective of what happens. Like if you go back to the Kohli era, Kohli said seven batters, you have to score runs, otherwise you're dropped. I will not fudge out because I need 20 wickets. But this team doesn't have that guts of, you know, having 20 wickets because the top order is not giving runs. White ball में पहले उल्टा था. White ball में used to get runs because then we used to play attacking players. But now it's changed, right? Now the top order is getting runs. We can play those attacking options where we can only play, go all out with three spinners and win the Champions Trophy. But अब टेस्ट में वैसा नहीं हो रहा है because we have lesser options in the top order. The batters are phasing out. Your Sarfaraz Khans, your Abhimanyu Ishwarans, you don't have a lot of trust in them who are coming from domestic and giving runs. That's the whole problem.
And Adi and Pranav will be useful to hear your thoughts because Dubey already, I know what his answer will be. The more we are watching this team perform and develop, and like Modi also is asking, is it time to just give Gambhir that credit and say he's making some right calls? And secondly, in hindsight, yes, these are all turning out to be good. But Pranav, like you said, I think next test match too, they will not touch the batting order. They might make tweaks based on Prasid going out and either Bumrah or Kuldeep coming in. NKR will get another chance. But question here is, does Gautam Gambhir and Gill have a method behind madness, or is this just coming off?
See, it's not madness. It's more like this is literally his second test match as captain. You have to give time. People point out like, oh, we've lost like the last whatever, like six tests or seven tests in the last nine tests. Now we are kind of starting with a clean slate. I wouldn't want to burden Gambhir with the prior, New Zealand losses and BGT. They happened for a reason. They happened, and three senior players were retired because of that. That's the consequence. So I would say judge him at the end of his 2.5 year tenure till 2027 Cricket World Cup. At the end of the day, after 3-4 years or after 10 years, what people will remember is how many ICC trophies you won. And how many test series you have won in Sena, right? Because everything else for this Indian team, by default, you should win, right? Like the other bilateral series or test series in India. So there's your baseline expectations is that you are going to win. So you don't really care that much. So I don't have a doubt on Gambhir in white ball coaching. He's really good. I think we will win more white ball ICC championships in the coming tenure, or we'll do really well. We'll do better than before. That's my baseline expectation. Because if you look at Champions Trophy as well, he took some calls. Like fine, like it was an easy win for India, but he chose Varun Chakravarti. He figured out like the batting order. He gave roles to KL Rahul and like Shreyas Iyer, clear roles, and it all worked out, right? Like we never looked like we will lose a single match as well, right? Like we dominated and won, but we still won, right? Like that's important. Coming to red ball cricket, it's not Gambhir's strong suit. He's still learning, and I think he has the fear of the fact that did not play and Washington played. It's just that he didn't want another couple of collapses. He was scarred by the last test, so I can see where he came from, and he picked Washington and he picked Nitish, right? Like because he was like, okay, I don't want to play like a pure batter. I want like a bowling option. let's see how it goes. So he's trying different things. The only call which I did not agree with was Sai Sudarshan at 3 in the first test, right? Like you don't, ideally Karun should have been at 3. If you wanted to play Sai, he should have come in at 6, right? You can't put like a debut player, a 23, 24-year-old who's never played international cricket. It's not like, oh, Sai Sudarshan has played 20, 30 ODIs or 20, 30 T20Is. It's like new, fine, he's done well in the IPL. So Gambhir's a quick learner. He removed Sai. He very quickly, changed it up. Now, Bumrah decided to sit out. That's another story, which we covered yesterday. But he's made the best use of it, and the playing 11 is fine. So we need to give them time. I know some people were like, oh, we'll lose 5-0 this series. We will be very bad. Despite all the negativity, we took the match to the last hour in the last test match. Hopefully, we should win this. And then that should set us up well for the overall series as well. So fingers crossed, like give them time, judge them 2 years later. Don't be very quick to jump on them and like attack them. That's my only point.
Yeah. And Sanjay, you had a point that Kal Brook century fastest marega to maza aa jayega. So you still feel England will go after?
I don't think they'll go after, but I think naturally they'll go at maybe 4, 5 and over. But chance ऐसे 6 runs तो बहुत ही मुश्किल है बनना. But I think Gautam Gambhir, you have to separate white ball. White ball, he's been superb. I think red ball जो उसने किया है वो आज तक किसी ने नहीं किया. 3-0 होम पे हारना और 3-4 लोगों को इतने जल्दी रिटायर करना, तो ये तो दोनों क्रेडिट है उसको कि एक तरफ उसने अच्छा किया, 2-4 लोगों को निकल ही गए, भले पुश किया होगा. People who were trying to get ready for the England series वहीं, और ये सीरीज खत्म होते सोच रहे हैं कि जडेजा इनको भी निकाल ही दो अगर नहीं बॉलिंग करते हैं तो सबको पूरा ही नया कर दो. But his performance in the test series, I think, because it's a new cycle, we'll see how it goes. Some of the calls I personally don't agree that in the absence of so many bowlers, I think how is Kuldeep not playing is beyond me. I don't care how we fit the other batting lineup. Kuldeep can potentially hold the bat. एक एंड से थोड़ा और प्रेशर डाल के कर सकते हैं बिकॉज हिज वैल्यू एज अ बॉलर. और अब इंडिया में तो वैसे भी नहीं खेल रहा था, ठीक है. इंडिया में भी आप जडेजा और अश्विन को भी नहीं खिला रहे थे, जडेजा और वॉशिंगटन को खिला रहे थे, तो उसको कहाँ खिलाओगे फिर? व्हाट विल हैपन इज वन इज रिस्ट स्पिनर. इंग्लैंड कितना लास्ट 4-5 साल में एक रिस्ट स्पिनर खेला है, एंड दैट्स स्टीव स्मिथ. Literally they have no experience of playing wrist spinning in England. So I think it would have been very valuable considering baseball सब wickets flat होने वाला है. Lords इससे भी flat होगा next week or later this week because एक तो बहुत गर्मी भी है for England. It's quite hot. Next week it will be hot. So I'm really disappointed that Kuldeep is not playing. बुमराह को रिटायर कर दो वो भी चलेगा, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. बुमराह के बिना बॉलिंग अच्छा चल रहा है.
नहीं इसमें ना सुमन जस्ट वन थिंग. सो आई एम अ बिग गंभीर फैन एंड ऑल ऑफ यू नो दैट राइट. तो दिल्ली का है, पड़ोसी भी है, तो आई एम अ बिग गंभीर फैन, ठीक है. एंड नोबडी इज डाउटिंग हिज क्रेडेंशियल्स. ही वन अस 2 वर्ल्ड कप फाइनल्स फ्लैट. ही वन अस 2 वर्ल्ड कप फाइनल्स एंड अनफॉर्चुनेटली ही वाज प्लेयर ऑफ द मैच इन नन ऑफ देम. ठीक है, डजंट मैटर एज लॉन्ग एज वी वन. बट आई ऑलवेज बिलीव्ड he could have been a very successful India captain, but he never, got that chance with Dhoni being there and then Kohli coming up pretty fast. What's happening with Gambhir? I mean, the moment he screws a few things, suddenly something will happen which will, make us say, "Arey, wow, Gambhir ne ka ye chal gaya," right? See, our batting screwed up, but losing 3-0 at home is criminal, and Gambhir has to take the blame for that. I mean, you can't simply say कि नहीं हमारा batting नहीं चला तो ठीक है. What Gambhir is trying to do, I think very faltered before assuming the coaching role. All the drama that he did, right? मेरे को मोने मोकल भी चाहिए, मुझे ये भी चाहिए, कल को बोलता मेरे को दीपिका पाडुकोन भी चाहिए टीम में, कुछ भी चाहिए मेरे को, और जैसा उसको देता, right? Now the point is, once you do all that drama and once you get everything that you want, then the expectation is you deliver the results from day one. Then you can't say, no, I need 6 months, I need 9 months, I need 12 months, right? You have asked for you got everything that you demanded for. फील्ड ये भी मेरे को रायन टेंडुलकर है वो आज तक इंडिया इंटरनेशनल 4 मैच नहीं खेला होगा आईपीएल के अलावा, वो तुम्हारा फील्डिंग कोच है, but he backed it, right? So you then deliver the results. Now the problem with Gambhir is he's very impatient. So again, which has a good part to it, as Adi said, he's a quick learner. He won't linger on कि इसको 2 मैच दे दो 4 मैच दे दो. So he quickly realizes that okay, this is not working. Let's change it up. But few things that he has done is deserves criticism. एक तो केकेआर का कोटा बना रखा है. How can you have Prasidh Krishna playing Test match cricket? It's beyond me. वो उसका you look at his IPL wickets also. चलो ठीक है, you are backing IPL performance, but all his 27-25 IPL wickets, 80% of them were on short pitch balls. He's trying to do the same thing in England. So playing Prasidh Krishna, favoring Harshit Rana, all that is beyond me. But again, that KKR quota helped us win the Champions Trophy with Varun Chakravarti. So that's what I'm trying to say. He screws up two things. One thing he delivers. So ठीक है चल रहा है, but I think he's doing too many things too fast. इनको भी रिटायर कर दो, उसको भी रिटायर कर दो. पहले मेरे को ये अभिषेक नायर चाहिए, फिर अभिषेक नायर को भी डंप कर दो. It's too unpredictable. If we are able to win a couple of more ICC tournaments under him, I'm okay with everything. You retire Bumrah also, you retire Shubman Gill also, I'm fine with it. But if he doesn't win more ICC trophies or more Test series outside India, I'm afraid he'll end up having the same fate as Craig Chappell.
Yeah, any manager will get their own employees, boss. So you can't blame for the quota, right? Gill is
Yeah,
getting Gujarat Titans, KKR, Gambhir. Pranav, do you have an opinion? Again, Vishak also has some radical view that it's a Greg Chappell era. I don't think he's that bad as Greg Chappell.
No, I mean, Greg Chappell will be one of the darkest eras because go ask Saurav Ganguly was in the UK already. But I think if you look at how the red ball thing happened with Gautam Gambhir when he entered, is that most of the players who were playing were at the fag end of their careers, and you can't actually completely blame him for a 3-0 loss because yes, there were a few baffling selection calls during that series. But I think if you look at how he started the new cycle, he started to bring a fresh perspective, which you can't blame him for because I totally agree with what Aditya is saying, right? Because we have to look at these as two different perspectives. He's an excellent white ball coach. He's transformed the T20 side like on its head, and quite luckily he got the side as a new baby or a clean slate because the legends retired after the T20 World Cup. So that is his luck. But then the ODI side, again, luck was in his favor that the venue was UAE and you had the T10 tournament happened there. So the pitches were tired, so you would know that it'll turn. Again, luck was in his side also. But then unfortunately, BGT during that time, his luck wasn't on his side. Yes, it was that there during Perth where they won that test match and everyone went, "Oh, GG is brilliant." He transformed the side, Harshit Rana, this, that. So um, I think if you look at it in perspectives, you also have to have some luck, which he's had in white ball, starting to have in red ball alongside Shubman Gill, because uh, there are a lot of factors that were pre-known when you're coming to England that pitches will be absolutely flat because it's very simple. England don't have the bowling in their tanks, even if they bring Jofra Archer back to pick 20 wickets. It's no rocket science. They don't have that bowling. We lost because we batted poorly in Leeds. That's the only thing, right? It's not because they picked 20 wickets. It's because we gifted them 20 wickets. So um, again, he's doing certain things right, right? Because we lost in the last hour of the last day. It's not like we lost, we were bamboozled by them for 10 wickets. No, we still lost it by a very fine margin, which is fine. Because in test matches, you will lose a couple of hours and you lose a test, which is fine. Here as well, we have been bossing the whole test. It could be the case that England might play for a draw after, hitting for the first two sessions for like six and over, and then say, look, we'll play it out. But again, he's trying to put thoughts on England's minds like, okay, now what do we do next? Because we have a tired bowling unit. We have to change things up. Do we have to change the pitch? Do we have to leave a little more grass? So all sorts of things he's trying to do is working out. It's obviously again luck plays a factor. Uh, Luck plays a factor in Rishabh Pant's innings because Zach Crawley dropped a sitter. So things of that sort happen, right? So I'm pretty happy with how Gautam's handling the team in this cycle at this point of time. I'll only judge him after he finishes the New Zealand tour, where they've not won a series for quite some time now. So that will be again a litmus test where the pitches will be super green. You can graze a cow on that wicket. So you know that is where I'll start judging him because home West Indies, I don't think it'll be a challenge.
See, मेरा एक
Because of
छोटा सा पॉइंट है इसमें जस्ट see even Ravi Shastri came in right Ravi Shastri is also maverick, he's outspoken and everything, but he still had that man management skills to handle egos like Kohli, guys like
go
Rohit
ask
Sharma.
Karun Nair.
करेक्ट
Go ask
रोहित
Karun
और
Nair.
कोहली को बोला रोहित और कोहली को बोला बॉस सॉर्ट और whatever love hate toxic relationship but sort it out for the team, right? With Gambhir the problem is that वो है ना वो एक ही गुंडा हो सकता है. So with Gambhir coming in he had to push out everybody else so that he is the only gunda. The point is
Which
we
is
all are
right,
happy
fine,
if
no?
that gunda gives us the results.
Yeah, which is fine, right? Because you have a young side now,
Yeah.
which is fine. It had to happen at some point of time. It is happening with a much harsher reality than it should have happened. Because I still believe all the three deserve a farewell test. So,
And
um,
and just to Vishak's point, right? Vishak just made a comment. You know what Chappell did to Dada and correct this one. See, that's the point. Dada had that strength and and those guts to go back to the drawing room and slug it out in domestic cricket, come back and perform. Right? Kohli didn't want to do that grind, right? मतलब मेरे को नहीं खिलाना है या whatever so I'll retire. You go back to the drawing board. Ganguly was also a big name in the system, right? वो तो नहीं रिटायर हुआ था गया ना डोमेस्टिक खेला वापस आया कम बैक किया कोहली ने क्यों नहीं किया सो
Kohli
यहाँ
के
पे
लिए
डोमेस्टिक
I
खेल के भी डक बना है ना दिक्कत वो है
exactly
एब्सोल्युटली
yeah,
Went back
Kohli.
went back to the domestic game, scored a duck, got someone's Instagram account
he didn't
comment
go
section
back
में.
he was made to play that match जब
Or
श्रेयस अय्यर का
everyone
कॉन्ट्रैक्ट
was
हटाया
forced.
ईशान किशन का हटाया
Yeah.
But I
See,
mean, look,
that's what, right? He's changing things, right? He's pulling up things to the right direction. Now the results will take time. It is obvious. No process is rocket science that you get instant results, right? Abhi Shubman Gill prepared for 3 weeks before the tour. That's why he hit a double hundred and then a 150. So you've got to trust the management. Yes, Ryan Tenduska ke badle I would have had Abhishek Nair because KL Rahul is KL Rahul in this tour because of Abhishek Nair's stint in Mumbai. तो आई हैड स्वैप Ryan Tenduska instead of Abhishek Nair क्योंकि वो कोलकाता नाइट राइडर्स में जाके क्या कर रहा है, I don't know.
एंड मे बी
Still
दे कुड
hasn't
हैव ऑप्टेड फॉर स्प्लिट कोचिंग वाइट बॉल गंभीर टेस्ट मैच किसी और को दे देते बट स्प्लिट कोचिंग हैज नेवर बीन टेस्टेड इन इंडिया सो नॉट श्योर
played
and
captaincy बहुत सालों के बाद हो रहा है, so something is better than nothing.
that's true. And also the transition of Rocco is smoother than expected, right? We are not complaining with the current batting order. So Gigi definitely should take that feather in the cap. But look, I think this is a good discussion, intense, but Gautam Gambhir discussion is also intense. But hopefully tomorrow we win, man. India, I'm positive that we will clean up the 7 wickets for sure. I mean, Brook can score the fastest century, no problem. But I think we have that extra 100 runs in the bag. If the weather holds, it's India victory. Otherwise,
Two
I don't see
sessions,
winning it. Go ahead.
60 overs is all we need. Two sessions. He'll be back
Okay.
for the live very early tomorrow. Two sessions, 1-1
Yeah.
at Lord's. Game up.
1-1 at Lords would be awesome. And Dubey, you're ready for Lords Test match, I hope? You took the fourth day tickets, or when are you going?
Both the tickets without Rohit, Ashwin, and Kohli were too expensive. Because of cost of living crisis, I sold it at face value, which had very few takers. But I've got the fifth day tickets, and
Yeah.
if the if the my wife's laughing at the background, if if the pitches are as flat as this, then it should definitely go to 50, and that will be a good day out.
Excellent. Thank you so much for joining in, Pranav. It was pleasure having you, man. Hopefully, we will continue to see you. Adi, Shivam, thanks for joining and see you tomorrow. Thanks, chaps. Thanks for engagement. Bye.